Hey guys, Fat Magic here with tutorial number 8. This will be how to gaff cards. We're going to get right into it because we got a lot to take care of. You need some random cards from around your house. If you do card magic, you have lots of random cards. These are red and blue mixed. Then I've got another little bit over here. You need cotton swabs, Q-tips. You need 90% or higher rubbing alcohol. This is going to be very important for those of you that like to ultra gaff their cards. Crazy glue. Caution with crazy glue. Will glue your fingers together. Be very careful. Little side note: if you do glue your fingers together, you can actually get your fingers apart by running them under hot water for about 15 minutes. That generally works. If it doesn't, then you've never watched this. Big pink erasers, the ones by ink. Here, oh, wrong side. The ones by ink right here. They seem to work really, really well. I've always liked these ones. They work great. They also work really good for art because they're like super smudge proof. I really love them. Good old-fashioned Sharpie markers, the official writing tool of Danny Garcia. Write out loud, right, guys? An X-Acto knife set, which this I got for like $2 at Radio Shack. This is an amazing X-Acto knife set. I've never had one that I've liked as much, and I've never had one so long. It's long-lasting. I suggest getting this. This I use for electronics, magic, all around the house stuff. Great kit. A couple of decks of playing cards, full decks. And then if you really need to, you can use a pencil eraser, but the only one that I suggest using is the Dixon Ticonderoga one. I don't know if you can read that. Dixon Ticonderoga. Their little pink erasers on the bottom of theirs seem to work the best, but just be careful because there's aluminum here. It's kind of sharp when it gets down to the back or down to the bottom, and it can ruin your cards. So I think I showed you everything. We're going to get right into it. Oh, little side note. This is just a kind of an example. I just got the Series 2 deck, so I'm going to use this as an example. Don't do it on cards like this. Don't gaff these cards. First of all, people don't see these cards very often, so they almost expect them to look different. Like, if you're doing a trick, it's not as amazing when you show, like, a Smudge 3, because it's not as normal. It's already a weird deck to them. Not to mention, these are not going to be in existence forever, or like, for instance, the Black Tiger decks, they have a gaff deck for them. Just buy those, because, I mean, making a gaff card out of a Black Tiger deck can be kind of expensive. So anyway, we're going to get right into it. So first, I'm going to teach you how to do that Smudge 3 thing where you do the wipe and then you wipe and it's smudged. Now, there's two ways to do this. I do mine in Photoshop if I'm going to be on the street. Now, I'll kind of explain that really quick. You just go into Photoshop, you scan in your 3, and then you illustrate it where it actually looks like it's like smeared or streaked. Okay? And when you do that, then you put this on some photo paper or on some regular paper in the center of the paper, and then you just print it through. You print on top of this, and it'll actually print the gaff. But if you don't have that, or if you just want to do it with marker, we'll show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to get there we go, my computer was in the way. Alright, what you're going to do is you're going to get your marker ready with some tissue, and you just draw a little bit right here, and then smear it right away, and then, get this ready, draw along this thing. Just draw on it, and then smear it right away. And you just draw all over this side, and then smear it right away. And you just keep doing this. And then, once you get to about there, you take a big Sharpie marker. I don't have a big one, I've got a Ready Mark, but it works just as well. And then you draw a whole bunch right there and smear a whole bunch. And then draw a whole bunch right here and then smear that. And then the reason why you do this, if you do it this way, is you want to make it, see how it looks like ink was taken from the bottom of this and smeared. It looks like you actually took ink off of it and smeared it. So that's why I do it that way. Okay, so erasing pips, or these insignia things, but either way, we're going to use the Q-tip with rubbing alcohol way first. So you just take your Q-tip and just dip just one end in the rubbing alcohol. One dip is more than plenty. It sucks it up. It sucks up as much as it possibly can within one dip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these two pips. So you start by rubbing it on there very gently. And as you do this, you're going to notice that the ink is being pushed around, so you need to take a cloth of some kind and rub it away. Now, this does get your card wet, so it does need time to dry, but you can continue doing this as you go on. You'll notice that quite a bit of ink comes off on your Q-tip. Do this in a well-ventilated area. Otherwise, you might get a little high. Now, as you'll notice, you're going to start getting this like halo effect. I don't know if you can see it on mine, but if you're doing it, chances are you can see it too. Use the other side of the Q-tip and dip it and really get it nice and clean here. And just rub over that really quick and wipe it off immediately. It'll go away. So, nope. Now, if you rub too hard, you're gonna ruin the face of your card. So you're gonna get like little, like the paper is gonna coil up, and it's gonna be funny looking. So this takes a while, but eventually the pip will completely vanish. And there we go. I have a missing tip. When it's all said and done, I have a 5 of diamonds with only 3 diamonds on it. So that's how you do that. And the rubbing alcohol, I'm going to show you because I'm also going to do this to it. Rubbing alcohol, oh, there we go, is also good for smearing. It's not as good for smearing red as it is for black, but just take and rub a bunch on this one, and then immediately after letting it soak, just smear. See? And then we rub on this one, and we let it smear. And then we rub it on this one, not quite enough. And then we smear. So, I also have a smeared 5, or smeared 5-3 of diamonds